Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and you're watching another live edition of the LockerGnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short, your daily dose of geek news, product views, and answers that you can use like an answer to the question, Chris, why are you live streaming earlier in the day today as opposed to when you normally live stream? That's a great question, and the question will be answered in an upcoming Pirillo vlog. That's in the other YouTube channel. Yeah, we got two YouTube channels. I don't really know what more I could do in this channel. What more would you want from me? Oh, I do plan on... Oh, I'll get to that in just a bit. Don't worry, it's going to be a long broadcast, even though it's a short amount of time. That's what it feels like when I'm spending time with you. Congratulations to the 928 Supernomies, and why do I say congratulations? Because without them, I wouldn't be doing this, and other things, really. So, thank you. Very much. I appreciate any kind of support that anybody out there can give, including... What? Was I saying something? Maybe I shouldn't be doing these broadcasts so early in the day. Well, thank you for joining me no matter when it is. Got a few things to let you know about. One, we still have that design and code learn iOS design in Xcode at 66% off. It's a bundle of an ebook, 31 videos, and 24 Xcode projects. Might as well save money in learning how to build apps if you want to learn how to build apps for yourself or potentially for someone else, like your employer or potential employer. Learning those skills now will serve you throughout life, no matter how old you are, because you might be older than me. That is a distinct possibility. I'm old. That's me. In a nutshell. And let me also remind everybody that we have that special still going on if you're someone who works with computers, tech support, you're in IT, you know someone who works in IT, because managing your company's IT support needs can be challenging, especially when you have remote or mobile employees. And that's why I highly recommend Citrix GoToAssist, the #1 global market leader in remote support. This easy-to-use, cloud-based remote support solution allows you and your IT team, not I-team. There is no I in team. To solve problems faster. And if you sign up for GoToAssist by tomorrow, you'll get another Citrix product of your choice free for 6 months. That's right. GoToAssist remote support lets you provide live and unattended unattended remote support to any computer or mobile device. Screen share to diagnose and fix problems faster and more effectively, and use GoToAssist apps to easily deliver support anytime, anywhere. Not much time left to take advantage of this special offer for GoToAssist, so do it now. Sign up for GoToAssist today and get another Citrix tool free for 6 months. Visit GoToAssist.com and get started, but hurry. The special offer ends tomorrow, October 10th. Do not wait. Visit GoToAssist.com and sign up to receive this special offer today. I needed to let you know that. I also need to let you know that I've been using my Kindle. God, I keep calling it a Kindle. Amazon's no longer calling it a Kindle. I unboxed this last week, the Fire HD 6. I exchanged a lot of my Amazon points for it, and I'm glad because how do I explain this? I don't really want to call this a full-on review because I wouldn't say that my experience has been extensive. I'm going to give you my initial impressions and feeling around the Fire HD 6, which is a new Amazon tablet that is now released. It is a tablet, and it can be used. You could surf the web, you could download apps, email, photos. I mean, it is a tablet, no doubt about it, for right around $100. And I'm going to say that you kind of get what you pay for in terms of an experience. Now, if you're someone who loves Amazon, you use Amazon all the time, and let's face it, I think many of us do. In fact, today, I like Amazon. That's where I get most of my stuff. I've talked about earning free gift cards, how you can do that, iOS, Android, UK, US, Canada. Go.tagjag.com/free apps and go.tagjag.com/free points. Easy to do. So I do. As far as an appreciation for Amazon as a company, I love Amazon. Today, they've got 45% off retro games, like classic games and toys, like Lincoln Logs and Spirograph and Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Like 45% off these classic games. Love it. I'm a retro kind of guy. So, don't want to take away from Amazon as a company. However, The tablet is quite hefty for its size. The performance, despite having and bragging about having a quad-core processor, it doesn't feel that way. It honestly, in terms of an experience and responsiveness of the apps on screen, it still feels, despite them finally forking at KitKat, because they've based the Fire OS on top of Android, which I think is a good strategy, eliminating Google from the equation. At least this is a good strategy for Amazon. It doesn't feel like it's latest gen hardware. It honestly, I swear, it feels very reminiscent of the very first Fire tablet that I used. The Amazon Kindle Fire tablet that I used more than a couple of years ago. So Amazon has a lot of value going for it. A decent price point, and if you're someone or know someone who doesn't really see like jerkiness and stutteriness in terms of experience on a device, if you're someone who just wants to browse the web, play a couple games, maybe view some photos, do some social stuff, I think this tablet will be okay. And that's really about as much as I can give it. It's okay for $100. I mean, it's kind of like, can you complain? Sure, I'm sure you can figure out a thing to complain about. If this tablet was $200, I'd probably be sending it back. At $100, I'm debating it. I didn't really use any of my money necessarily, and it's good to have the experience around because I don't really have any other Amazon devices, and I stayed away from them largely because I'm someone who does value an overarching experience, and I do believe that Amazon misses on a lot of marks. They have all the components in place. An easy way here. I'll just show you here as I turn it on. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. In order to get the price, you get ads, which isn't a problem. I don't mind that at all. But the way that I've measured hardware performance in relation to apps in the past, this is an example, Gravelux. And this is an app that is available on iOS. It's available on, a variety, or obviously Android and Fire vicariously. This was an app that I would use constantly to measure graphics performance of a device. Because as devices became faster, hardware-wise, the software would just kind of come in tow if the software worked well. Well, the problem is that despite being on a quad-core system, the performance just doesn't match. It just doesn't seem to. Is this a high-end graphic system? No. Is it a synthetic benchmark? No, it's not. It's an actual app that's got all these dots on the screen. It's kind of a fun little, just a what would you call it? Time killer, time waster. I just like it, but I can definitely see that it doesn't seem to match the performance of what I would expect for this hardware. One example out of many. Then beyond that, it's okay. Well, I guess we're upside down. That is I wasn't upside down. This is the top. There's the camera right there. The user experience is just a little inconsistent, buggy, not well fleshed out. Amazon's not really a software company. It's not what they do. Logistically, I think Amazon's got, like I said, all the right components in the right places. I mean, they want to deliver content to you. They want you to buy things from them. And I buy things from Amazon all the time. Look at that. The first option there in the menu, shop. Great. You can shop. Games, apps, books, music, videos, newsstand, audiobooks, web, photos, docs, offers. So they have all those components right there, a tap away. And as I said, I think for someone who is not as what's the word I'm looking for? Not as discerning. It's ample. It is a tablet. It is something that you can use to browse the web and buy books. You don't have to buy everything on a Fire tablet. And it's sufficient. It is sufficient. However, I did expect more. I honestly did expect more. I expected better performance. I expected a better user experience. I expected a lot more. Am I going to return it? No. I'm going to hold on to it, if only to see if newer revisions of the Fire OS get better. But they have a long way to go. This does not feel like it was forked from KitKat. It does not feel like it's a quad-core device. Apart from being heavier, it's got weight to it. Despite being small. I love fall. You know me, or maybe you don't. I love fall. So, who is this for? It's potentially for your parent, your grandparent, or potentially a child. And I say a child because I give Amazon props for free time. Now, I don't have free time yet, but it's something that I do plan on getting when Jedi's old enough, because this is something that you basically buy into the subscription. I'm a Prime member, and you don't have to be a Prime member to get it, but for like a few bucks a month, you get like unlimited games, apps, movies, etc. No ads. It's just specifically geared towards kids. Amazon's the only company that does that. I love that about free time. Then if you ever run into a problem, like, oh my God, what's going on? You can actually use Amazon customer service. You can connect to a person in real time and talk to them, and they will help you through a problem. That is an extreme value for someone who doesn't really know much about what they've got in their hands or what's going on. So Amazon, like I said, they've got a lot of those components together, but they're going after a different market than I would consider myself a power user. But I'd be very hesitant to be able to recommend this to every person out there. But there is a market for this device. It's for a parent, it's for a grandparent, it's potentially for a child. But in terms of what you might want out of it, I think you may be better served by other devices. Despite it being $100, it's kind of geek impulse buy territory for me. They've still got a long way to go in terms of user experience optimization. That's my perspective. So maybe you have a different perspective. I don't know. Maybe you see things differently. I tend to see small things that no one else sees, and I'm always proven right in the end. Because then, like 2 years later, we've optimized. We're now 200% better, and they say that 2 years from now. You know what I'm saying? And then I get slagged because I saw those things 2 years ago. It always happens when it comes to gadgets and experiences. Now, speaking of, this is actually a perfect segue. Well, maybe not a perfect segue. I always wanted a segue. I know they're not as en vogue anymore, but I always wanted a segue. A friend of mine offered to me her older Segway, and I debated it. A few $100. I'm like, am I really gonna get that much use out of it? Do I really want to be that guy? Yeah, I want to be that guy. I want to be a Segway owner. I don't know why they didn't take off. Probably because of price. And who wants to see a nerd rolling down the street? You know what I'm saying? I do. I like seeing nerds roll down the street. Okay, back to the Segway that I was talking. The Segue. It looks like it's spelled Segue. Segue. Segway. That's how it's pronounced. I know. English language. What are you gonna do? The former Apple CEO John Sculley had written. This is the headline, the synopsis from the article on the unofficial Apple weblog, which has been one of my favorite blogs in terms of Apple stuff for a number of years. TUAW.com. Steve Jobs sold experiences, not products. And even though I may have heard that about his ethos, Jobs' ethos at one point in the past, I still believe that is just as relevant today as it was when Jobs was still here, when Jobs was reforming Apple as a company. And this is just, I've seen it play out in the market over and over and over again. It's not just about a specific product. It's about a general experience. What use is a product that you've got in your hands if it doesn't do what it needs to do? Now, Amazon, to come back there, Amazon wants you to buy things. This is a great tablet for buying things on Amazon. Whether we're talking about apps, books, music, videos, shopping, etc. Now, that's not to say that an Android device wouldn't be a great platform for you to buy things through Samsung or HTC or Google, or an iOS device wouldn't be a great place for you to buy things through Apple. Not at all. Amazon's got a different approach to the marketplace. They sell things, not just things on the device, but they sell things directly. Amazon, I will tell you, is my number one, the place where I go to buy just about everything we need. We use Amazon Fresh to buy groceries. We use Amazon to get things for Jedi, for ourselves, all the time. So when we talk about this array of people who talk about experiences, not products, this is what's difficult for some people to understand. It's not just about this device. It's about this device and how it fits. Not just within itself and what it's trying to do, but with what the company's trying to do. And then with whatever else the company is trying to do. So this device you would expect to work well with the Fire TV or Amazon TV or whatever they're calling it today. This is, sorry, it's the interface. Did you see that? It's like, I don't know if I was tilting, but the interface was kind of jumping around. I wish I could show you every example of the issues I've had with the user interface, not just the user experience. But it's an experience that you're selling, not just the product. Because when you're selling a product, the problem is someone's going to come along and basically mirror exactly what you did and remove any kind of viability for you to be able to sell the product. If you're selling an experience, something that's a bit more ethereal and somewhat tangible, depending on how you approach the marketplace, it's a bit more challenging to get people to leave your experience. It's easy to jump from product to product to product, from experience to experience to experience. Not so much. It's not as easy. It just isn't. Experience is overarching. Product it's like a microcosm of that experience. It's just a part. Okay, fine, I'm going to say it. This is like the Chris Pirillo drinking game. The device is just one amongst an archipelago of devices. That's the one word I think I've taught you in life, archipelago. And if you don't know what that is, you haven't watched very many of my videos, I don't think. When you look at that, you can suddenly start forming an idea in your head as to why things happen the way they happen. This is what is probably one of the bigger challenges in my experience. Not that I'm creating an experience. Well, I wish I could create an experience. I need a Chris Pirillo experience. That's what I need. That's what I need to do. When I talk about a device and speak around it, and have it placed well within context, I have to present that context over and over again. That's what makes it so difficult to do a review on a device these days. Because it's not just about that device. It's about that device and how it sits within a range of devices. It's how the device stacks up against the competition. It's what that device needs to do. It's what competition is doing similarly or differently. And when someone looks in, they're looking potentially for me to validate their opinion about that device. Well, the problem is I don't just look at it as this is the device. It's this device for a certain group of people. It's this device in a range of experiences. It's this device for the company. It's deeper than just the device. That's what I'm trying to bring across. And that's really probably different from the way a lot of quote unquote gadget reviewers, they approach it differently than I do. But I'm going to skip to another headline just to speak through what I'm trying to present. What I'm laying down for you today. I'm getting a little talky around, how I tend to see things and why it's very difficult for me to get along within the world of tech and people who report on tech or talk about gadgets. I'm using air quotes a lot. Because I don't just look at them as single gadgets unto themselves. They're a part of something bigger. Not just within... Okay, I don't want to repeat myself. Segue here. This is a segue. Another segue. Samsung doesn't know where to go. Okay, so here's the issue with Samsung. And I'm not speaking... Again, let's separate us talking about the quality of their devices, which, let's face it, have been ample. I mean, Samsung has done very, very well for themselves, but they're finding themselves squeezed as a product. Let's say, for example, as I reach over, hey, how you doing? Coming a little closer to you to grab my Note 3. Reviewed the Note 3, love the Note 3 for what it is. It is a good device, probably one of the leading phablets, up until the point where Samsung releases the next one. And there are a lot of large screen smartphones out there. But in terms of an experience, this is the one I've had most experiences with. Apple comes along and releases the iPhone 6 Plus. For better or for worse. Completely different. Platform, hardware, it's almost completely different. Not a polar opposite. But in terms of the way some people may look at it, I'm like, well, I can get a large screen device here from Samsung, or a large screen device from Apple. What am I going to do? Now, some people might, well, don't get Apple because of X. Well, don't get Android because of Y. They're just features. They're just products. That's it. So what Apple did was decided that, well, it seems like a lot of people want a large screen device. Maybe we should be producing large screen devices. So now, instead of just, one player in town, and I'm not saying they're the only phablet. Of course, there are other OEMs who are making phablet type of devices, phone tablets, because they're large screen devices. But now, Apple, the competition, iOS, the competition to Android, has an alternative, and a viable alternative. Perfect? No, nothing is. And anybody who would tell you doesn't know what they're doing, because there's no such thing as a perfect device, and that's okay. And that should be okay with you, because otherwise, if there was a perfect device, you'd never upgrade. That would be really sad. Imagine if you had your phone right now for the rest of your life. I don't think anybody would want that. I wouldn't want that. I always want to upgrade. It's just a part of me. It's like in my DNA. I want to upgrade. So now we've got similar products. We've got a product here and a product here. And feature for feature, they're not exactly the same, but for the most part, they might be same enough. You've got Apple that has always gone after the high end, that part of the marketplace, and done very, very well for their particular business model and how they've pursued it as a vertical player. And then you got Samsung. It's not Apple. Samsung is, I don't know any other way of putting it. Samsung's not Apple. Samsung's not Amazon. Samsung's not Google. Samsung's not Microsoft. Samsung is Samsung. So they've tried to go after the high end. Well, Apple's kind of got that market, and that's not to say that Samsung still couldn't address, that part of the market. But in terms of, cornering the market, it's kind of finding itself pushed into the middle, squeezed on both ends. On the high end, Apple. On the low end, you've got Android device manufacturers, or the manufacturers who are creating low-end smartphones that have really solid experiences that are there. And the Samsung's right in the middle, which is not where you want to be. Don't want to be there. So Samsung has been reporting that we're not going to make as much money. Now, we got new devices coming out. That's great. New products. But where is the experience? Now, if it were me, and it's not me, and I'm very glad it's not me, but I would double down on everything that consumers find valuable about Samsung and living in its ecosystem. Part of Samsung's power is that it's produced so many products. One of my first, it was my first VCR, was Samsung. I had a Samsung VCR. Never heard of the brand before, and it shows you how old I was in college. My first VCR, but I got it because it had tons of features, and it had a certain feature that I wanted that no other VCR had, specifically at the price point. So Samsung has all these products everywhere, but what are they doing to better connect those products with one another? To make it a comprehensive experience, such that if you have a Samsung this, you're inclined to buy a Samsung that, and a Samsung the other thing. But right now, there's no story. There's no connection between these devices in any way, shape, or form. And that's what Samsung needs to do. Honest, I'm just telling you, that's what I believe they need to do. They need to create that experience so that when people see Samsung, they'll grow attached to it and see it as not just a single device that's from Samsung, but it's a series of things from Samsung. And if I get this and this and this and this and this, my life will be easier, and I appreciate the experience, and I appreciate this, this, and this. Otherwise, it's like, it's a device, but look at this device. But look at this device. Jump. It's easier to jump device to device to device to device than it is experience to experience to experience to experience. And Samsung needs to reboot their story. If they want to stay a player. Low end is being taken care of. High end is being taken care of. Where does that leave Samsung? So, again, I got to be clear. There is no winner in a race that never ends. And talking about the number one in one category just ignores the other categories. Every company's number one in a certain respect. Depends on how you measure something, right? Depends on how you look at it. I have no horses in this race at all. I genuinely do not care. I care about you. I don't necessarily care about what you choose to use. I genuinely don't. I don't need anybody to win. What I need is competition. What we all need is competition. And anybody who would tell you otherwise just doesn't really understand what competition does. Or, let me put it this way. what a lack of competition does. That's not a good thing, especially for consumers and user experiences. Let me go ahead and kick this in. Bam. Give these people back here some credit, and move on. With speaking of experiences, just slide this in underneath. Look at this. I still have it. I've got to decide which project I'm going to do today. It's my little bits. This is a good experience. What I've got here, these components in this box, to be able to learn how electronics work. Even as someone who understands the basics, being able to go back to basics has been very, very helpful for me. To understand things and how they work, and to be able to take those things, put them together, and create new experiences out of tiny components. That's exactly what Little Bits is doing. And this is, maybe it's just me, I like modular stuff. Love Lego sets. I love Little Bits. I love anything that allows me to mix and match and put together and reshape and reform and do and create. And Little Bits is that that type of system, not exactly a perfect parallel to those types of systems, but modular nonetheless. So let's see here. What can I put together today? Dancing signs, glowing handlebars, truck crane, art bot, auto greeter, prank handshake. Oh, that might be fun. A tickle machine, clap it, timed motion, a clock. It's interesting. These are all projects I can put together with these circuits that come in this kit. This is the deluxe kit. Noisemaker. Should I do that? Yeah, I'll do the noisemaker. All right, so I need the power components. You see here's my 9-volt battery there. The power. There's my power. Then I need a pulse. Is that the pulse? Where's the pulse? That's not the pulse. Is this the pulse? I think this is the pulse. Nope, that's not the pulse. See, they're color-coded, and you try to match the different components. That's the button. I think this is the pulse. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt the names floating behind me there. There we go. This is the pulse. And then I need the buzzer. Where's the buzzer? Is this the buzzer? That's not the buzzer. Is this the buzzer? That doesn't look like the buzzer. Is this the buzzer? This is the buzzer. I just love it. The component is called the buzzer. So then we just put it together, and we can adjust the speed of the pulse. Okay, I probably have to be very careful about doing this because Jedi is sleeping in the other room. I don't know how loud this is going to be yet. So magnetically, we put this component with this component. See, there's only one way to do it. Plug in the power, flip on the switch, and okay, it works. Okay. Sorry, don't want to freak out any dogs that might be in the room. I just built a buzzer. And then I can adjust the pulse, so I can adjust the pulse of the buzzer. Beep, beep, beep. I can make it go faster or slower, and I did that, just like that. All I needed was the components from the little kit, or the Little Bits. Sorry, not the little kit. It is a little kit. It's a deluxe kit, but it's a lot of fun for people who don't know much about electrical engineering. I know some people out there, oh god, that's so rudimentary. Well, exactly. That's the idea. And as I was holding up the box here, you saw it. $20 off your first purchase, littlebits.com, code LockerGnome. I'm trying to save you money everywhere on stuff that you may or may not already have or want. I can't imagine you not wanting that, though. That's me. That's just me. All right, let me kick in the screen saver to save this screen and go to the other thing I was going to show today. The last thing, I guess, last product view. This is really, really heavy. This is the float. And you can float your tablet right there. See that little component? I've had, as you've seen in the vlog, and I think it was a long time ago when I talked about it in TLDR, the taller version of the float. And basically, you can take a tablet, any given tablet, really. I wonder if this will, yeah, there we go. Like there. So instead of holding onto the tablet, I can put it in there and then pivot it around, swing it around, this little ball and socket here. It's a very strong magnet. So strong, there we go. So there's the component, popped it out, but bam, just like that. Swivel it around, I can place it. This is designed to be right here on the desk. Very, very, very weighty base, and it's designed specifically so that you can be hands-free, and the tablet's right there. It's just floating. That's the idea, it's floating. You can position it in any direction, like that. You put it there, whatever. and it sits on the desk. This is a way for you to float any given tablet. It's compatible with just about any tablet that'll squeeze in there, and that's it. That's it. And it looks stylish too, and it works well. So I was using the taller float in Jedi's room, and ended up moving it out because I had a smaller tablet in the position, and we were moving the arm around, and you have to lock the arm down because it's got a longer arm. And unfortunately, it wasn't locked all the way, and I was hands-free. I was with Jedi, and it started to move on its own. That was my problem. I didn't lock it down, but it was an accident waiting to happen, and that's not to take away from the quality of the product. Like I said, user error of like not tightening it down enough. Everything was fine. Nothing happened, but it was still enough to like, okay, safety issue. I don't want this thing, flying down and, accidentally hurting somebody. So I wouldn't imagine you having that issue with this because the arm is just too short. There's really nothing to adjust. And this particular, this, what would you call it? Stand? iPad stand? Or I'm sorry, tablet stand? Will likely find its way somewhere here in my workshop, if only because, I like being able to keep the desk clean and be eye level sometimes with a screen. Eye level. See, that's not eye level. If I look down at a tablet, that's not eye level. Anyway, so this is now available, and it's, God, that is a heavy. You want to work out, just pick up a float. That is a workout. Ooh, I got an idea. Hang on, going back to the little bits. Ah. Instead of sound, I'm going to pulse this wire. It works! It works! Look at that! I'm pulsing the wire! As the components, the 9-volt battery is a bit hefty, so you gotta hold it the right way. I can control the pulse too. What's the frequency, Kenneth? I'm controlling the pulse to make it faster. It's faster. Look at that. I'm pulsing so fast you can't even tell. And now I'm gonna slow down the pulse. And I'm going to speed it up again. That's my sound effect. That's not a component there. Cool! Simple things. That's my life. I like simple joys. Like you. I like you. You're a joy to have around, and I appreciate all the attention and support that everybody out there gives. Certainly. I know there were a couple other things I wanted to cover, and I guess I can cover them now, just to let everybody know. And I'll put the links for everybody in the description, especially for the articles that I was referencing in a loose way. One, Lego Minecraft minifigure scale sets have had their official images revealed. So not just the micro sets, the little tiny Minecraft sets that I put together in the past in this channel, but like ones with like minifigures with square heads, like. I'm very, very excited. I'm not a Minecrafter, but I'm seriously considering getting all the Minecraft sets and then reviewing them or putting them as videos in this channel. If only because I know a lot of people out there like Minecraft, and it might be a fun thing to do. So stay tuned for that, or those videos in this channel. And then Star Wars Reads Day 2014 is this Saturday. So please, I know people keep tagging me on it. I'm like, I know you're not watching TLDR. Because if you did, you would know that I already know, so you don't have to let me know that it's happening. And then, in other Star Wars news, ABC is set to air Star Wars Rebels Spark of Rebellion with additional scenes, specifically a new scene with Darth Vader, voiced by James Earl Jones. So Vader's going to be in Rebels even briefly, which means that hopefully we'll see an action figure of that Darth Vader soon. It's a lot of fun. I can't wait. It's a good show. Rebels is a really fantastic show. It's going to be one of my new favorites, because I am a Star Wars geek nerd. Nerd herder? Can I be a nerd herder? There we go! If there can be a nerf herder, can I be a nerd herder? Herder, not hurter. I would never want to hurt. Not intentionally. So, thank you everybody for giving me your attention. and being who you are. I hope you have a good, or are having a good week. Hope you have a good weekend coming up. Hope you are happy. Thanks again for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, watching even more of our videos in this channel or the other one. And of course, I hope you're able to tune in for the exclusive Q&A with you and me. Today, what do I have to answer? What do I have to answer? Where do you want to take your daughter? That's a good question. Like places where I'd like to take my daughter. Got some answers. Got some ideas. Like really, like things that I remember doing when I was a kid. I'll talk about that in a separate video right now in this channel. You can watch it after you're done watching this video. At this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices.